Have you ever felt paralyzed by what other people might think of you? Today, we're diving into how to kick those fears to the curb and how to just show up. We've got mindset magic, NLP Ninja Moves, and actionable steps to help you be unapologetically you. This is like my mission in life, in everything that I do, is how to help people show up as themselves. Trust me, by the end of this episode, you're going to be ready to take on the world. No holds barred. Welcome to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo, where we're all about mixing tried and true strategies that actually work with the magic of manifestation and the science of programming your unconscious mind so that you walk away feeling integrated, inspired, and aligned. I'm Renee Bowen, certified life and business coach, professional photographer, middle-aged wife, and mom to now 3 grown kids. I've built 2 multiple 6-figure businesses with 0 business training by digging in, learning the methods, and now I'm here to pass them all on to you. From photography and business strategies to energy healing, human design, and the basics of manifestation, we cover it all here. I'm here to help you embrace your multi-passionate brains and lean into the fastest and most efficient ways to reach your goals, whatever they may be. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, or maybe you're just here for the woo-woo, let's dive in and explore all the exciting ways to take your life, business, and self-improvement to the next level. Thanks for joining me, and get ready to be inspired. Hey friends, welcome back to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo. I have a fairly quick episode for you guys this week. I'm super busy. As most of you guys know, I am also still a full-time photographer, and September through December is our crazy time, basically. So it gets a little nutty for me this time of year. And I'm also in the middle of running a 30-day visibility challenge for, I think, about 60 people are in there with us right now. It's really cool. You can still join. You don't have to do the entire 30 days. We're going through October 20th. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, if it is before October 20th, you still have time to join us because you're going to actually be able to take what we're learning and implementing and changing and rewiring during this challenge and implement it in your business long term. So I'll have some information about that in the show notes if you're interested. I have so many photographers doing this with us, and our Voxer group is really, really fun and very active, and a lot of really awesome wins that I am seeing some people share in there. So I'll put that info below. But basically, yes, I'm in the middle of running that. I'm also still coaching one-on-one. I've got my other group programs. I have 2 levels of Elevate group coaching that I also do. And I also run this photography business and produce this podcast. So I have a lot going on. No promises for content over the next probably 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to do my best to show up for you guys. But if I have to do a little short episode here and there, this is why. But honestly, I really like short podcast episodes because we all are so busy and don't have a ton of time. And I personally like to listen to podcasts, not just when I'm in my car, but when I'm out on a walk or in the morning when I'm getting ready. So I'm putting makeup on. I'm usually, listening to a podcast, and 30 minutes is like a really good time for me. So that's my intention with this episode. I really want to walk you guys through 3 specific tactics or shifts or whatever you want to call it that are going to help you show the fuck up in your business. Side note, if you are sensitive to curse words, I am going to be cursing in this episode. I don't always. I usually do throw at least 1 curse word in there, but sometimes there's just more than others. So this is your warning. If you're listening with littles around you, you might want to pause and come back to it later. Okay, so today we're talking about how to get over yourself and just show up. So all of us at some point have had some kind of experience in our life that made us feel less than, maybe it was something really big where you were made fun of publicly, or maybe it was just something that we perceived that was happening and it didn't really happen the way that we thought it did. But all of us have this underlying like need to fit in. It's kind of biological as well. We're not going to get into all of that today, but it really is super, super common. So this is something I hear from people that I work with as coaching clients all the time is I'm absolutely terrified to show up on social media, or I really want to use this one particular sound, but I'm worried about, if that's going to make me feel cringy or seem cringy, or I'm really just like overly concerned about either what my clients are going to think or people close to me or whatever. So then what happens is it starts the overthinking, right? Because you have this thought of, oh my God, what if I seem whatever, insert whatever undesirable adjective you want there. And once that happens, then you really fall into the overthinking, the anxiety, and it just kind of tends to snowball. And then what usually happens is that you just don't show up at all. So I'm going to go over 3 different tactics, if you will, to use when you find yourself in these kinds of situations. And they're all a little bit related, but I think that they're going to appeal to maybe a different type of personality type out there. Like some of you are going to resonate with the mindset part, and some of you guys are going to resonate more with the action part. There's a visualization that I have in here for you guys as well. A couple of different ways for you to help reframe what's going on with you and to just get over it, basically move through it. Because at the end of the day, if you have a business and you need clients, then you have to be able to show up for that business and for yourself. And honestly, I do think that if we are called to be in business for ourselves, then it really is a wonderful opportunity that the universe has given us, that we have found ourselves in. And I believe that we put ourselves in and are attracted to for this reason, because it is an opportunity for us to move through this, for us to grow and to stretch ourselves, because it's only in that stretch that we actually learn, that we actually grow and expand. Nothing good is going to happen in that comfort zone, guys. Okay, are you ready for your visualization? Don't worry, if you're driving, you can still do it. Just don't close your eyes. Okay. So I really think that this can be very powerful if you go there with me. So I want you to, if you are able to, close your eyes, take a deep breath, okay? Nice and cleansing deep breath, get grounded and be in the present. And then I want you to imagine that you're walking down a really busy street in your favorite city. I'm not even going to tell you what city it is because you have to decide whatever city it is, but it's a very, very big city and there are people everywhere, right? It's bustling. So I want you to feel the ground beneath your feet. I want you to hear the sounds of the city, the horns of all the cars, the taxis. Maybe it's even a different language that's being spoken around you, but people are talking. There's a lot of sounds. I want you to smell the aroma of the food from all the nearby cafes and all the sounds of the cafes. So I want you to just feel the ground beneath your feet and walk. And as you're walking, you suddenly notice that people, all the people around you, are staring at you. They're pointing, maybe even laughing. You hear these whispers, these giggles. Oh my gosh, look at that bright pink mohawk. I can't believe that person would do that to their hair. And you're like looking around because you want to see what they're talking about, but they're talking about you. But you don't have a bright pink mohawk. I mean, if you did, it would be really cool, by the way. But you don't have a bright pink mohawk. Your hair is exactly how you like it in this moment, right? Like, so your hair looks like it does in everyday life. And so you realize now what people are saying and thinking about you. And it's really disconnected from your reality because it's not true. So what would you say to someone in that moment? You would literally stop and say, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't have a bright pink mohawk. Like, are you guys crazy? Are you all crazy? You guys all have clearly lost your mind. Like, this is not my reality. This is not my truth. This is not true. So you wouldn't believe it. So now I want you to go ahead and think about some of the things that have crossed your mind that you think other people are saying about you when you post on social media. Some of the things that just pop up randomly, right? They could be anything, but some of the things that I have heard some of my clients tell me and things that I have actually said to myself, because yes, I still have gone through this. So don't think I'm immune to this. But some of these things can be, who does she think she is? Does she think she's an influencer now? Does she think that she's some, big time business owner? Or I can't believe she's charging as much as she's charging. Or I can't believe she's, out here trying to be cool. All of those things that you think about. I want you to ask yourself, are they true? Think about it for a second. Are any of those things, first of all, have they even been said about you, right? Like that's a whole different topic. Yes, there have probably been times that some of you would say, yeah, someone accidentally even sent me, a screenshot or a DM or something that they were talking about you with someone else. That happens. But 9 times out of 10, the stuff that you think is being said about you isn't even being said about you. But even if it were, it's not true. So why are you connected to it? Whatever you give your focus is going to grow. And that is the same thing with your thoughts. And I've talked about this on the podcast before on multiple episodes, but your thoughts just come and go. They're automatic. It's only when you allow those negative thoughts to stick around, that they attract their friends, their shitty friends, okay? And you don't want a whole bunch of shitty friends in your mind. So you have to just be intentional and notice when that is happening. So when you find yourself going to post on social media or going to do something that is going to get your business out there, your name out there, it could even be going in person to speak to like another business owner, let's say, right? And you have all these preconceived notions about what you think they're going to say about you. Ask yourself, is that true? Am I sleazy, slimy sales girl? Am I like just a jerk who is trying to take people's money without giving something amazing in return? No, none of those things are freaking true. So you can choose not to believe them, and you can choose to believe something else. Now, the other side of this is the perfectionism. And this is a really, really big thing that happens when we start having these negative thoughts about what we think other people are thinking about us. And then all of a sudden we start overthinking it. And then the perfection stuff comes in there as well. Okay. Like if I don't do it perfect, I can't post it. That's all kind of tied in together. And it's all about control. And if I know anything about anything, it's about being a control freak. I got like a PhD in control freakness. Okay. Like, hello, my name is Renee. I am a control freak. So this is a big, big problem for us that either felt, that we didn't have enough control in our lives or we were hypervigilant as kids for one reason or another. We've all got our own traumas, big T's, little T's, all of those different things, right? But there's some reason that you've got some control issues. It's not the end of the world. Okay. It's not a character flaw. If you notice that in yourself and you realize like, I've got some stuff to work on here. Hello, you are literally like ahead of the game. Ahead of most people in life. But I'm sorry to tell you, babes, you can't control what other people think of you. Okay. So I really, really, really want you to work on this first part of it that we've talked about, asking yourself, is it true? Is it really true? Like give yourself that visualization of having a pink mohawk, right? If you have these thoughts pop in your head, I want you to stop and go, pink mohawk. Do I have a pink mohawk? No. Okay, so it's not true. So I don't really need to attach myself to it. Again, if you have a pink mohawk and you're listening to this episode, you rock, you fucking rock. This is not a diss on your hair, okay? I'm just trying to use it as a metaphor. And then the other thing you can do is remind yourself that you don't have control over what other people think of you. You do have control over your actions and your reactions. And if you can allow those thoughts to stick in with you. So remind yourself what you can control. Okay. Say the serenity prayer. It's amazing. Okay. I don't care if you're not religious. I don't consider myself super religious, but I love me a good serenity prayer moment. Bottom line, disconnect it from your reality because it's not true. And also let it go. Done is better than perfect. I will die on this hill. Okay. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction any freaking day of the week. You have to just pull the trigger and just do it. It's been so amazing. Just a little side note, seeing there's a few people in the 30-day challenge who are dealing with this because it's super common. I see this all the time. And I'm just absolutely loving that the challenge is sort of forcing them to just do it and not overthink. Plus, they have the support of the group, but it's very freeing. They're finding it very hard at first, but like once it's done, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. So you can do this too, I promise. Okay, so this next technique is based in NLP. As some of you guys know, I am certified in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and it's part of my life coaching certification that I have, as well as hypnosis and some other stuff. But I want to just walk you guys through one of the techniques that's called perceptual positions. There's technically 5. We're only going to go through the first 3. I'm calling it the NLP Ninja Move, the neutral observer. Okay, you guys might have heard me talk about neutral observer. I am a huge fan of this because the more just in general we can become neutral observers of our lives, the more grounded and untriggerable, which is like my goal in life, to be the untriggerable woman. Say that 12 times fast. It's a tongue tie, but I really strive to not be triggered. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you're doing something that is going to bring you a lot of anxiety, like we've been talking about, either, in some way showing up, whether that's posting or whether that is being on a Zoom call, getting on a phone call, being with another business owner, whatever it is that gives you like the biggest charge that's like, oh God, that's really scary. Okay, I want you to imagine yourself in that moment. Okay, so you're going to need to hold that sort of experience in your awareness. You're going to want to keep it, forefront of your mind right now for this little exercise. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through 3 positions. So I want you to imagine yourself in the first position. In this one, imagine a 30-second movie of that experience from your perspective, okay? So meaning, let's just say if it's posting on social media, about to make a post, or, you're overthinking it or something. So I want you to go ahead and just bring that to your awareness and imagine you watching a 30-second movie of you doing that from your perspective, meaning you're the one actually having the experience. So I want you to do that. Think about it for a second, and I want you to describe it in one word. And then I want you to imagine yourself as your target client in the second position. Okay, so then replay that movie as the client. Like, I want you to put yourself as your target client. Put yourself in your target client's body. Okay, so then watch that movie play out as your client, and then describe it from the client's perspective in one word as well. And then I want you to imagine that you are an independent observer, someone else in third position. And now go ahead and replay that movie. So this is like someone completely unrelated to you or your business. Like, this is just literally a person off the street. They don't know you. They don't know your target client, none of that stuff. Okay. So go ahead and replay that movie of whatever it is, the action, like posting on social media, whatever. Play that 30-second movie as you, the independent, neutral observer, and how would they describe that experience, that movie, in one word? And then I want you to go back after the neutral observer and put yourself back in that position again and see if it's still as charged, if it's still as big of a trigger as it was before. Because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in the perspective of other people. You could do this with many other people, right? And you can use this for any kind of situations. Like if you have like a really big sales meeting, let's say if you are super stressed about doing in-person sales, you could do this exercise from that perspective as well, thinking about it, who's going to be there. And you could put yourself in each of these positions, each of these perspectives, and then a neutral observer, someone completely unrelated to any of this, and see how different these perspectives are. Because when you realize how neutral it can be, you realize that it is a choice you can make right now. You don't have to allow it to be so big and scary. You can step back and become a neutral observer. Another really awesome technique that I love to use with clients is you can picture all of this happening through like a security camera. Okay, so if you're sitting there in your living room or your kitchen table or at your office, your desk, and you are making a post on social media and the anxiety is raising and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and all those thoughts come, you can stop for a second and you can zoom way out, right? So above your body, like zoom out above yourself, and then picture yourself through a security camera like you would see at a store, and look at yourself doing the action. It's black and white. There's no sound. You can't hear or smell or, like see all the colors or anything like that. So it takes a lot of all of those important details away, which makes it a little bit more neutral, which is what we want. And you can use this technique for anything. So if something's really big and scary or just really charged, if you've got like, something triggering for you, you can practice becoming a neutral observer for it. Because when we are in a neutral space, it just is. It isn't good. It isn't bad. It just is. And then we can move through it so much easier. All right. And so this last one is what I'm calling your vibe attracts your tribe. And we've heard that many, many, many times. That's why I'm using it, because it's familiar to you and you will get it. So what this means is I'm always kind of talking about how we're not our target client, and we're not per se, but we start out kind of in that same space, because whatever we are putting out, whatever resonance we are emitting, whatever energy we're putting out, I always kind of say, what is your radio tower, putting out? What's the beacon? What is the frequency? However you want to call it, whatever you put out is what's going to come right back to you. That is literally just how the universe works. That's how energetics work. So by you being the most you that you possibly can, the most authentic version of yourself, the truest, the cringiest, the weirdest version of yourself, that vibe is going to attract your clients to you, because people who vibe with that, people who are also like that, or who want more of that energy in their lives, are going to be like, you know what, I don't know what this person is about, but let me go find out, because I really like what she's doing. Like, this is really, really cool. They're going to literally energetically vibe with you. So if you're out there putting out this stale, boring ass content that's like, here's what my business is about, and you get X, Y, and Z when you work with me, just like everybody else. Like, I'm sorry, but if you are a senior photographer and you have nationally published senior photographer in your bio, and all you're talking about is, how you what makes you stand out is that you offer hair and makeup and styling like everybody else does now. Like, okay, like 5-10 years ago, it wasn't so common. Now it is. So if you're just like putting out really boring content and you're trying to be like a talking head and trying to quote unquote fit in because you don't want to stand out, who the hell are you going to attract? First of all, probably nobody. I'm just going to tell you, sadly, probably nobody, because would you want to vibe with that? Like if you saw that content coming up, would you think that that was dynamic in any way whatsoever? Probably not, right? So why are you doing it? Because you're trying to play it safe. I know. You don't want to cause attention to yourself. You don't want people to notice you. Listen, I get it. I really, really, really get it. I don't think you guys understand. I am married to an actor. Okay, let me tell you a little story. I am an INTJ. I am an introvert. I am a Virgo. I have a lot of Virgo placements. If you know anything about astrology, I'm very Virgo. And I historically have never been the kind of person who wanted any kind of big attention. Okay. I know that might seem weird now because you see like maybe my online presence, but in my life, I never really wanted attention. My husband is a big personality. He is an Aries. He is all fire. He is an actor. He loves attention. He's an extrovert. And when we go anywhere together, he loves the attention. So he would always do like, dancing in the middle of the store. I mean, like that's a tame thing that he's done. There's been many, 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 many things that he has done that has embarrassed the hell out of me in public. Like I wanted to crawl under a rock. Like everyone stop and stare, hyperventilate. Like I want to throw up. So that kind of feeling, I get it. When I started like putting myself out there and my business out there and doing lives and showing up, that's that feeling that would come up for me, that major embarrassment. Like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. But I had to get to this point where I was like, okay, if I don't show up, if I don't tell people who I am, and if I'm not me, how are they going to know? Like, they're not going to know from just reading my website. Yes, we should be doing really great copy on our website. We should be able to, have people understand who we are. But it's going to be really hard to do that. And we have such an amazing opportunity with social media to do this, you guys. Like TikTok and Instagram Reels, the short form video, YouTube. We have such a fantastic opportunity to be on video, to show up with our weird ass personalities and whatever it is that makes us us. Why are we not using it? It's because we're afraid. We're so afraid of someone calling us out, someone telling us that we're not good enough, that we shouldn't be doing. Like, who are we to do this? Fuck that. Okay. I'm just going to say it. You guys need to get to a place where you get to that fuck it place. Like, listen, you want a business? Are you having fun doing it? Do you love it? Show us that. Show us your personality and show us how much fun you're having doing it. By focusing more on how much fun you're having and focusing more on how much you're giving back to your clients and the fact that you are attracting more of these amazing dream clients, the more that you are yourself, by focusing on that and not focusing on the fear of showing up and the embarrassment and whatever else is tied up with that, by focusing more on what you want, that is what you are going to get. That's literally how it works. So it's just about where you're putting your focus and how you look at it through which perspective. And while, yes, people are going to be drawn to your work if you are an artist, if you are a creative business owner, if you make things, if you're a photographer, if you have a storefront, whatever it is, like, yes, people are going to be drawn to like the thing that you do. But that is not enough for them to want to hire you, especially if you are a luxury-based service provider. If you are charging a decent amount of money to make a good living, charging what you're worth, then you need to be able to show them something else. It's not enough, okay? They're going to go down the rabbit hole of your work and they're going to vet you and they're going to go to your social channels and they're going to see if they vibe with you, especially if you're a photographer, because that is a very personal thing. Taking someone's photos for 2-3 hours and having your camera pointing in their faces and, especially if you do have hair and makeup and you're with them for longer, that is a relationship. So there's a lot of businesses and services where you really are with this person for more than just an hour or so. It's a lot more. They want to know more about you. So doing it scared, doing it anyway, showing up anyway, and continuing to do it day after day after day, even when it feels like nobody cares and nobody's listening, that is the only way that you're going to get what you want. And so I encourage you to dig deep and find a way to show up and be the youest you that you can possibly be. I sound like Dr. Seuss, but it's freaking true. Okay? Is it a deal? Are you going to do it? Let me know, because I really, 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 really want you to win. And I want your business to succeed. I really, truly do. Nothing makes me happier. I'm seeing people in my Voxer telling me their wins. Like I get so excited for that shit. You have no idea. I live for it. So I would love to hear from you. If you want to hop in my DMs on Instagram at Renee Bowen, let me know if this podcast hits home for you, if it's something you needed to hear, any of that stuff. I want to know. Life is too short to be boring. No matter how shy or introverted you are, it's truly, you deserve to shine your brightest, whatever that means for you. And I'm not telling you you have to be some, weird version of yourself that becomes like this, character. That's not what I'm saying. You've got to be you. And your vibe, your truest vibe, your energy, your resonance is going to attract your people to you. It is the fastest shortcut to the business that you want. I promise. So thanks for joining me again here. I love, love, love this community. And I really appreciate you guys so much. So if I haven't told you lately, I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a really amazing day. I hope you got a lot from this podcast. And if you're inside the 30-day challenge with me, I hope that you are getting a lot of value from it. I know that I've heard some really great feedback. So it's been really wonderful so far. And we have a ways to go. So yep, you have time to join us if you want in. Just find the link below and take some action. We'd love to have you. See you next time, guys. Have a really amazing week.